Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast. I am Jeremy.
I'm Andy. We are on another case.
We are on another case. But you know what? If anybody can crack the case of whether or not a movie's good, Andy, it's us.
It is. We can do it.
And just a little behind the scenes for the audience of what's going on with us is I am actually battling, I don't know, a cold or something right now. So if I
Yeah.
sound a little off, a little different, that's what's going on with me. Andy, I think you're just snowed in, right?
I'm just snowed in, and it's literally the wind chill's like -20 today. I got representing my winter gear on the pod today, and yeah, it's just freezing, and I've been unable to attend the movies this weekend, which is really annoying. Stupid snow.
Yeah, snow's just it's no good. I'm
Yeah,
happy.
no good.
I'm happy to be somewhere where it doesn't snow that often. I'll just
Yeah,
say that.
that's what you should be.
Yeah. Well, today we are talking about for the second week in a row, our movie of the week is a straight to Netflix movie.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and that of course is the third installment in the Knives Out series. This one called "Wake Up, Dead Man."
Yeah.
It returns writer and director Ryan Johnson and star Daniel Craig as the detective Benoit Blanc. And other than that, it's a whole new setup. It's a whole new
Yeah.
cast of supporting characters. Uh, let's give or I'll give a quick summary, and then we'll jump into it. So, as I said, Benoit Blanc is back to solve another murder mystery. This time in a case in which a young priest is suspected of murdering his superior, and the list of suspects involves an eclectic group of congregants. But things get even more unusual when it appears to take a turn for the supernatural. Andy,
Yeah.
was Wake Up Dead Man good?
As much as I hate that this movie came straight to Netflix, Jeremy, this is one of my favorite movies of the year. This movie is just a delight. I loved every second of this movie. I laughed. I was engaged. Just packed full of fun, interesting characters. This movie is a real treat.
I'm right there with you, Andy. I really dug this movie.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the franchise. Like, I really enjoyed
Yeah.
Knives Out and Glass Onion, and
hmm
this might be my favorite installment yet.
Yeah.
Um,
This is so good.
yeah, that said, like, I think this one, it's strange to say because it might not be the most, like, tightly composed of the three. It might not be the cleverest or even the funniest. In fact, it's probably the least funny of the three.
Right.
But I think this was the most interested I've been in any of the three movies. The
Yeah.
most I've been like completely drawn into the story.
hmm
Um, and yet again, yet another just slew of fantastic performances.
Oh my gosh. Like, why wouldn't, if you're in Hollywood, like, why wouldn't you want to latch onto this franchise? Because it just gives everyone, he gets these big ensemble casts, which is kind of the thing with this franchise, but they're always well written parts, and everyone always delivers in the parts.
Yeah, it is one of those movies where you're watching and just going like, man, Ryan Johnson, he he's just firing on all cylinders. I
hmm
mean, it helps that this is his baby. He knows what this franchise is, but like the look, the tone, the
Yeah.
acting, like everything is just everybody's clearly on the same page and it's all working together.
Yeah, you're right. Everything like this is just a well-oiled machine of a franchise, and this installment particularly. And it's like not that he needed to find his footing with the first two, because the first two are really good, but now we're three in, and you can tell, like you said, everyone just understands the assignment and knows what they're doing, and this just hits, and it's so good.
Yeah. I do like that this one feels different than the others. Even I mean,
hmm
like it feels connected enough to feel like you're still in the same
Sure.
world. It's a little, I guess you would say it's a little darker than the other two.
Yeah, for sure.
A little kind of heavier.
hmm
And honestly, this one, it's kind of the case in the other ones where our kind of main lead is really one of the human characters, and Benoit Blanc is is almost more of a supporting lead.
Yep.
But it's definitely the case in this one. I mean, the first one, it's Anna de Armas is really the sort of main character.
hmm
In the second one, I can't even remember the actress's name, but it's another girl
Yeah.
who's brings him in that is the main one. In this one, it's the Josh O'Connor young priest character.
hmm
And really, I don't know. I would have to think back on it. I think this is by far the longest a movie waits to bring Benoit Blanc into it because it
Yeah,
is
it's
like
at least 30 minutes,
it
don't you
feels like
think?
it. Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like it at least, yeah.
And for that first 30 minutes, it's Josh O'Connor's movie, and it doesn't like totally flip when Benoit Blanc shows up either. It
Nope.
stays, uh, Josh O'Connor's movie. And I got to say, this is only the second thing I've ever seen him in. The first one was Challengers, which is a
Yeah,
movie I didn't really like. And I
same.
did think, like, okay, this guy's got a little, like, charm to him, and he's not bad in Challengers, but it just, because I didn't like the movie, I guess it didn't stick with me. This movie, I was like, dang, this guy is good.
Yeah, this guy should get an Oscar nomination for this movie.
I agree. The funny thing is almost immediately my first thought was this movie, if it were to get Oscar buzz or they were to push for it, I bet they would commit category fraud. I bet they would push Daniel Craig as the best actor and Josh O'Connor as a best supporting, even though
It really should be
clearly,
the other way around.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I honestly, I wish that they would go Josh O'Connor for best actor, because not that Daniel Craig did anything not to be recognized, and he's still great in this role. I would go Josh Brolin for best supporting because I thought he was fantastic in this.
Dude, it's just like we talked about in Weapons. He just has such, we talk about this with different people on here. He just has such a weight to him. And he just automatically makes the movie feel better, more important. I don't know what it is. And just the things that Brolin can pull off. Like, maybe you don't think of him as necessarily like a versatile type of actor, but like, it just seems like whatever you need, whether he's Thanos or a hot-headed jerk of a priest like he is in this movie, he just nails it. He always nails the assignment. Like he's so good. I I,
He,
I don't argue
yeah.
with you at all. And I'll just go ahead and say this, jump a little bit ahead. I would not be one bit surprised to see Glenn Close as the best supporting actress nominee. I
Yes,
mean, the
she
Academy
also
loves her
does.
anyway,
Yeah,
and I would not be a bit surprised.
yeah, absolutely. There's so you're probably right. That's probably the three best performances. You could throw Daniel Craig in with that. What's crazy is that you've got Jeremy Renner, you've got what's his name, Andrew Scott
Hmm.
playing two of the other congregants.
Yeah,
They really don't get a ton to do, but like they're such presences just being themselves that
yeah.
it kind of goes to that thing we were talking about with the other Netflix movie with the missile that was coming to America,
Well,
and we said
the House of Dynamite.
yes, House of Dynamite. We
Yeah,
were saying like, oh, it didn't have to be people this big, but then we were like, well, maybe it needed to be so that they could bring that much weight to these quick roles, and it's sort of the case with this one. Like, if the Renner character is played by anybody other than Renner, just kind of like a no-name character,
hmm,
that doesn't stand out much. But every time he's on screen, you're going, that's Jeremy Renner. Like, I'm really paying attention to this guy and what he's doing.
yeah. I was thinking about that a lot while I was watching this movie because it would be tempting to be like, man, this is a kind of a little bit of a waste of like our girl Kaylee Spaney or Jeremy
Hmm.
Renner or Thomas Hayden Church. But by the time the movie ended, I'd come back around to being like, you know what? I just like having these people up on my TV.
Absolutely. And Thomas Hayden Church might be the best example of that, where
Yeah,
like I'm
it's
literally
such
debating
a
in my mind.
nothing part.
It is. I'm literally debating in my mind like, could he be the best supporting actor
I
nomination?
know
It's like it's
he's great.
yeah, he's so good. I'm gonna say my first negative thing of the movie right now, and that's this. I was a little disappointed in Kaylee Spaney, and I don't think it's necessarily her fault.
Hmm.
I think her character had probably the most like cliche lines in the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there was just times where I thought she kind of is coming across like somebody doing a bad stage adaptation. She's kind of doing the like
yeah.
sitting in the chair, wistfully looking off, and be like trying to do an accent.
Hmm.
And I was just a little disappointed by that. I actually thought she was really good in the moments she didn't have to talk, which
Yeah.
sounds like an insult, but like she's still
No.
great facial expressions and being dramatic in a presence. But some of the lines I think were just not doing her any favors. And yeah,
Yeah, I'll agree with you. And really, it's just more of a. It's not even to me like a criticism. It's just more of a disappointment. Not with
Mhm.
her, not with anything, because I love this movie. But yeah, just after she's so good in Civil War and Alien Romulus, you kind of just, you want something like that all the time. But
Right.
again, I think I still land on just like I just like having her in this movie.
Yeah, I'll still take her being in it over not.
Yeah, me too. But I definitely hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Um, so I was talking to some friends about this movie yesterday, and you know what? I think this is a fair enough point to go ahead and put the spoiler warning, because not that I'm going to jump right to the end, but it's a mystery. You know, there's lots of things to
There's a
talk about
lot of
that are going to be
spoilers, yeah.
spoilery. So we'll put that spoiler warning in. My friends asked me, "So did you figure the movie out, as you were watching?" And I was like, I would say it was about a 50% figure out thing. About half of it I kind of figured out, and about half I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of elements to
Yeah.
the whole
It's
mystery.
pretty layered, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's about the way that I like it. I like a mystery where you can kind of feel like you're solving it with them, but it's not so easy to solve that you're like, well, I knew everything that was coming.
Yeah. I think the best compliment to me that I can give this movie is that I wasn't thinking at all about who did it because I was just so just moment to moment I was just like I'm just loving all this, all these people on the screen. So I wasn't sitting there, my mind wasn't wandering towards who did it or why or looking for clues. I just kind of let the whole thing unfold because I was so wrapped up in it.
You know what? That's the way to be, Andy. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
And I will say for a split second there, when you I know we're into spoilers, but I'll save kind of the big stuff. When there's a reveal about the tomb or the mausoleum or whatever, I was like, oh, is this movie getting ready to lose me here on the like 70% of the way through the movie? And it recovered pretty quick. I had a moment there though
Yeah.
where I was like, oh no, are we gonna get like too complicated and like get into like Saul level, like, well, this depended on this person doing this at exactly the right time, and I was worried there for a second. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, it gets elaborate, but then it like when it explains it out, yeah, you're like, okay, yeah,
yeah.
I get
It
that.
it, it reeled it back in quick enough, and that's why it's so important to have like you have like Blanc and uh, Josh O'Connor's character that are so good together, and they keep it pretty grounded. So when it does get kind of like, whoa, he actually wasn't dead, and all this stuff, like just having these level performances really help a lot. I think.
Yeah. Uh, there are like so many great little writing things in this where they allude to things early in the movie and then it pays off later. I
Hmm.
mean, something as simple as they're finally kind of unraveling the mystery of what happened to him, and you find out like it was a fake stabbing, and the one little devil head was already sewn onto his cloak. As soon as they said that, I was like, oh, and they said that she does all his
Hmm.
costuming and like helps dress him, and then it
Yeah.
shows that, and I'm like, yes, you planted that seed earlier,
Yeah.
and
Nothing
now
felt
it's
like a
paying off.
cheat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what in a movie like this, these mysteries or detective type things, that's what will lose you when you're like, okay, like you set this thing up that we couldn't have possibly known this, like so yeah, you're right. They play by their own rules and they stick with to their own rules. It feels like doesn't nothing feels like a cheat.
absolutely. Um, So, and they do. Ryan Johnson's just so good at showing you exactly the right amount so that you feel like you're investigating with them. You're
Yeah.
not sitting there going like, "Well, why didn't you check this or do that?" But
Hmm.
then by the time he goes back around and shows you what really happened, you also don't feel like, "Well, I would have known that if you just would have shown me a little." You kept it
Everything's kind of
too.
right there.
It's right there, yeah. So even that, like the fake stabbing, it's like, yeah, I didn't even consider that could be a thing. But now that you're showing me, I totally get how that makes sense and that works and why they couldn't figure it out before. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the
And
pieces
like
just
like
fit.
like a really good example of what you're talking about is when Daniel Craig's like he keeps turning that picture like side to side, and uh, Josh O'Connor's character thinks he's looking at that bag that's down on the ground, but actually he's looking. There's like a second devil
Devil
lamp or
head, yeah.
whatever, and it's like it's a little trickery, but it still feels like it's within. It still feels like they're playing by the rules.
Well, yeah, because I think it lingers on the shot enough that you kind of, as an audience member, go back and forth, and I didn't spot the bag, but when he spots it, I'm like, oh, there was a bag there. Like I feel like I'm
Yeah.
being smart, just like Josh O'Connor. And
It's
then,
great. It's great.
yeah,
And you think of Daniel Craig with like let's go back to him real quick. You think of him, I think of him James Bond. That's
mhm.
kind of what I associate him with. And for him to be so funny, just in this physical like just him, moving that photograph from up and down to side, like he's just really good at that stuff and he's really funny.
He is really funny. I think my favorite comedic moment of the movie is when he's starting to leave the police station and he sees Josh O'Connor's character walk
Yeah,
in, clearly coming in to like confess, and he doesn't want him to, and he has this look of like, oh shoot, he's here, and he just sort of strolls through real quick and like grabs him, is like shh, and just takes him out.
it's really good.
That it's not going to sound funny as I'm describing it, but like the physical
His
comedy of it was
mannerisms.
his yeah, the look on his face, the mannerisms, the movements, yeah, it was really funny.
He has great facial expressions. At the end, since we're already in the spoilers, Glenn Close's character, she drops this jewel or diamond or whatever, and Daniel Craig and Josh O'Connor kind of look at each other, and Daniel Craig just goes like, "I'm not gonna say anything." That's just so good. It's so funny.
It is, yeah, it's he's really funny in this movie.
Really good.
Yeah, we should, this cast is so loaded. We haven't even mentioned that like Mila Kunis plays the
Yeah.
police officer, like the
Hmm.
the head of the police in this town,
Yeah.
and so she's kind of along as soon as the actual crime happens and trying to solve it. And again, kind of a part that with a no-name actor could be just sort of a nothing throwaway part, but because it's somebody that you have a history with and
She's
somebody you
good.
just like seeing, it
Hmm.
just brings something to the part every time that
It
she's
does.
around.
It's a well written. I do think that is a well written part too, because like in a lot of lesser movies, the local sheriff is just there to be an idiot and to do like everything wrong, or just it's such a annoyingly written character in a lot of movies. And here, like she assumes things and does things that you're like, yeah, that's what she should assume. Like she's not there to just be annoying or just be like the opposite of Daniel Craig's character. For as much as he's right, she's wrong. She's not like that at all. She's pretty competent and it's just a smartly written character.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great call, Andy. That her just being competent and normal and not doing
Such
anything like,
such a nice change of
that as a
pace.
viewer you're going, oh my gosh, why? It is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Um, you saying that just it made me think of highest to lowest, the Denzel film that we did earlier this year, where
Yeah.
there's like three cops in that movie that their whole job was just to be obnoxious and kind of
Yeah.
getting in the way of actually solving the case. And it's like, you're right. That's usually what you get. And
It's
this
usually
was a
what you get. Like
nice, yeah,
I just rewatched Die Hard the other day, which hey look, I love
well,
Die Hard.
classic.
Love
Yeah.
Die Hard. But the one character, like the principal from the Breakfast Club, like his job is literally just to be a moron. And
Mhm.
he's always like 5 steps behind. Like that's what I'm saying is like usually that's the character you get in these type of situations. So it was pleasant to see. And like you said, someone we have a long history with, it's just nice to see her up on the TV, not the screen.
Yeah. Um, and then there, gosh, it becomes apparent like how many great performances there are because
Or no
I really thought
no bad ones.
kind of kind of the newer guy, Daryl McCormick, who I had only seen in briefly in the Twisters movie. He
Yeah.
plays the boyfriend that gets blown away in the
Yeah.
beginning, uh, and he's playing this young guy with like political aspirations, but it's
Dude, that
kind of
is
obviously
so
an idiot.
funny, I thought.
He's very good in this movie.
He is so good. He is so
Yeah,
good at being a douche in this movie.
that's
Let's just say
exactly
it.
yeah,
Let's just
that's
say
what it
it.
is.
Yeah.
And I will say that's maybe like it was kind of funny. That is one of the parts where I was a little like, okay, you're being a little on the nose with the writing because
Sure.
Ryan Johnson clearly he likes to kind of lampoon, you know, the right wing in these movies.
Sure.
It was sort of
Sure.
the Batista character in the last one, and
Yep.
this one, this guy's like clearly like he when he's like, I don't know why I didn't catch on. I tried all the like the
And he
key
lists like
topics.
30 things.
He does, and it's all these like clearly
It's
making fun of
really
like what
funny.
right, and it's funny, but it's like, all right, Ryan Johnson, we get it. This guy is a total nincompoop,
Yeah. I
and then yeah,
I can't help it. I think it's funny.
it was funny. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
just
I can't even remember every time now, but there were just several times when he would just have some little throwaway line, or you'd get this glimpse of kind of his ideology on life and stuff, and it just made me chuckle in the movie. And like I said, I don't even really remember like specific instances. I just remember being like, this guy's making me laugh.
yeah. I mean, another great comedic moment is when uh, Benoit Blanc and Josh O'Connor's priest character is asking the group about the meeting that took place, the
Hmm.
night with Josh Brolin, and nobody wants to talk. And then he's like, "I recorded it."
Just
He's
hit
like,
play.
"Can we watch it?" He's like, "Just hit play." And again, Daniel Craig's face of like, "Okay, like
It's
let's
good.
let's go do that in a hurry."
I love it
Um,
at the end too when he's in the room with Kerry Washington and she's just smoking away and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go witness a miracle. You just keep smoking indoors."
yeah.
That was just a great line, I thought.
Yep, that was funny.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. So
yeah, he's great in the movie, I thought.
yes. Um, so I guess we really haven't even kind of explained what the central
I know,
thing of the
right?
movie is, and it is a little hard because it's one of those movies where it matters, but it kind of doesn't. Like the
Right.
journey is all that really matters, but ultimately, so um, Josh Brolin is a priest, and his grandfather, I guess,
Yeah.
had started this church and was like this big time, like well respected priest. And his mom was a wayward soul and had him, out of wedlock and was wild.
Yeah.
And the dad like took them in and promised that he would leave his inheritance to him, and apparently had a fortune. But then when the dad passes away, the fortune's nowhere to be found. The mom goes crazy, wrecks the church, dies, and Brolin kind of grows up and takes his grandfather's place, always viewing his mom with shame, and becomes a real fire and brimstone preacher who seems to enjoy calling people out more than bringing people in. So um, the mystery really starts to pick up when there's suspicion that that fortune that his grandfather had was found. That's a
Yeah.
revelation that we find out from um, from the character we were just talking about, whose name, gosh, I already forgot his name. That's
I did
terrible.
too. There's a lot of
From
characters in this
from
movie.
from Daryl McCormick's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're watching the video, he goes, supposedly he found the fortune and he was going to leave, and I told him to burn all his bridges before he goes, so that nobody could be tied to him in case he
Mhm.
went into politics or whatever. So then it becomes kind of a, yeah, like everybody's trying to find this. They give it a name because in these mystery movies, there's always a name for it. That Eve's apple, I think
Dave's
is what they
Apple,
call
yeah.
it. It
Yep.
turns out to
That's
be
what they
this
call.
like ruby of some sort.
I mean,
Um,
it's a MacGuffin basically.
it is, but it turns out that it's in this tomb, this Lazarus tomb, that the priest had swallowed it, and so it was in there with them. And people can't get in easily from the outside; you can only come out. So the fake death of Josh Brolin's character was to get in the tomb.
Right.
Well, actually, I gotta
Yeah.
make sure I understand it now. I think he was planning to get into the tomb just through construction, and that's when other people put in the plot to
Right.
like poison him and like knock him out to put him in there,
Yes.
and then they were gonna like frame it as he raised from the dead. But I guess they're still gonna steal it from him and kill him again. I don't know. It gets again,
It's a little messy. I mean,
it's a little
since
messy.
I mean, this is the biggest spoiler. Like Glenn Close is orchestrating all of this. 'Cause she's like, this is. I can also use this as like I can spin it where like he was miraculously raised from the dead. She's trying to. She has this love for this church, and she's trying to get that and kind of save the church and stuff. But yeah, it does get kind of messy. Like, well, what was the plan for Brolin's character? But sometimes we would rip movies to shreds for maybe stuff like that. But in this, it's just like really, it's just about these, like you said at the beginning, this eccentric group of people, and that's
Yeah,
really what it's more about.
and this whole franchise continues to do the thing where it really is almost always the most obvious person,
Hmm.
and he just does a great job putting it right in front of you. It's just never quite the way you think. But so in the first one, Chris Evans' character, when he comes in, you're like, okay, this guy seems so guilty that like there's no
Yeah.
way he's actually the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, yeah, that's the twist, is he is.
Yeah.
And then it's just the mystery of how. In the second one, it's Ed Norton's the eccentric billionaire, calls everybody to his island, so you're already suspicious of him, and of course he's the guilty
It's him.
party.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's a little less obvious in that regard, but you think back on it and you go, right from the beginning, when it's Josh O'Connor narrating as he's writing,
Hmm.
he describes her as she's the one who makes everything happen here. Like
Yeah.
she takes care of everything.
Yep.
And she like
Kind of just
and,
telling you in a
and
way.
you're going like, oh yeah, like in the end, she's the one who was taking care of
Made
everything. She's the one who
everything
made
happen.
everything happen. It
Yeah.
was right there in front of us. So
Yep.
yeah.
And she's great. She gets some really great moments. I mean, she's got to be kind of big and loud in a lot of this movie, and I thought her best or funniest moment is when like Kaylee Spaney's character gets up out of her wheelchair and she's like she just screams and she's like, I can walk. I just thought that was really
Yeah.
funny.
I could walk. It just hurts a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was really funny.
It was really funny. Um, So one thing I wanted to touch on, and this is a little more serious, and we don't want to talk long about it, but I just want to say like it can get a little risky when a filmmaker is making a movie about the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a murder within a church, especially, he's bringing in a character like Benoit Blanc, whose whole thing is I'm rational and reasonable, and of course he's going to be an atheist who doesn't believe in
Right.
God,
Right.
and he's paired up with Josh O'Connor, who's this very idealistic, passionate young priest,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to say that I thought Ryan Johnson did an amazing job of navigating having both these characters be competent, be reasonable, and get along, even though they clearly have totally different perspectives. And in no way did I feel like this movie was disrespectful to religion or anything else. So
Could
I
not
just thought
agree
he did
with
a
you
really good
more.
job. Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, no one could be. If you have your feelings hurt by this movie, that's on you. Because he navigates that really well. You're right, and he finds a way to make it humorous, and like neither character changes at the end. Like I thought that was just a great moment at the end when Josh O'Connor's character is like, I'm having my first mass here pretty shortly, and he's like, if you want to stay in, and Daniel Craig's character is like, there is nothing I would rather not do, or I don't remember how he phrases it, but it's just really
Yeah.
funny, and
Yeah.
he
It's
just
nothing.
leaves.
I think it is that. Nothing I'd rather not do instead, or something like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're right. It is handled really well, and like more behind the scenes, we're both church guys, and nothing in here, I felt like stepped on my toes or anything. It's handled really well.
Right. I walked out going like they did a really good job with the Josh O'Connor character where I go like, yep, that guy gets it. Like that was good representation. And of course, when you do that, it makes you feel a lot better about the Brolin character because he is the bad guy.
Hmm.
He's like they're showing you the wrong way to do it. And O'Connor says a lot of things that are just really good, sound theology. So,
Yeah, I thought it was a
and
really. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it was also just really nice. There was a point in the movie in which Josh O'Connor like basically gives up on the case, and it is the kind of only moment of conflict between the two, and it's not even like they're mad at each other. But Benoit Blanc's almost like, no, this is what we gotta do. We gotta solve the mystery. And Josh O'Connor's like, I'm not here to solve murder mysteries. I'm here to like help hurt people and bring them to Christ, and that's it.
It was cool.
And it was like a really great moment, and kind of the one moment that actually does stupefy Benoit Blanc a little bit because in his logical and reasonable brain he's like, no, we've got to figure out the mystery, and I think it actually like kind of connected them better as
Hmm.
characters, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought it was good.
I'm so glad you brought this up because you're right. It was all handled so well, and I thought a great just beat in the movie was when Josh O'Connor's calling the like Louise or Lois or something like that maybe, and he's like, "Hey, like I need you to tell me who ordered this thing," and he's so annoyed by her because she's just rambling. But then she's like, "Hey, now that I have you on the phone, would you pray for me?" And then all of a sudden, just like everything kicks back in for him, and he stops everything and talks to her. He makes it feel like he talks to her for a really long time on the phone, and that was handled so well. I thought it didn't feel cheesy or forced. It felt very natural. And then Daniel Craig's character, he just patiently sits and lets him do his thing. It was just a really nice moment between two people.
You're right.
That was a
That was
great
one of the
moment in the
highlights of the
movie.
movie. Yeah, and Daniel Craig just kind of stays in the office, and when he finally walks out, Josh O'Connor's just on his hands and knees, and he's praying for
Hmm.
Lois or whatever her name is,
Yeah.
Louise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish more movies could show two completely different points of view in a mature way like this movie does.
Yes, absolutely. Um, Andy, I was looking at it. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave this movie a 92%,
Nice.
audience 94%.
Okay, so people like this movie.
And as I'm prone to do, I was like, when we have sequels, I want to go back and see how the originals did. So Knives Out, 97% from critics, Glass Onion, 91% from critics, meaning, and both of them, audience 92%. That means three movies in this franchise, all three of them, both critics and audience scores in the 90s. That's
Yeah.
almost unheard of.
Yeah. People love this franchise. They love Daniel Craig's character. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I I think I'm just amazed. Like usually you get one dud, especially like if a franchise is going well. A lot of times the writer director will start maybe feeling himself a little bit too much,
Hmm.
or just be like, now I want to go big or something. Like
Hmm.
his discipline to like keep what works,
Stick with what
but
works.
but change things enough so it feels like its own thing. Each installment feels very distinctly its own thing. It doesn't do like let's just replay the hits either. Um,
Hmm.
it's really impressive, and I kind of wonder like how far he should and could push this franchise.
I know. I know. I thought about that a lot while I was watching this one because it's and movies are so funny because so many times on here we'd be like, dude, three glass onion movie, but it's like when it works, I guess. But yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, do you just like, okay, I made three really good movies that people like. See you later. Do you try and do one more and give him some kind of, proper send off? I don't know what the answer is. I'll tell you what the answer should be. If you do make one, put it out in theaters. I looked
Well,
back. The original Knives Out made like $300 million at the theater, literally, like over $300 million.
yeah, and we need to talk about this because this was I had forgotten about this till I was looking at the trivia that um, Ryan Johnson and Daniel Craig both had lobbied strongly for Netflix to give this a theatrical release. And there was a point in time in which it seemed like Netflix agreed and said they were going to give this a theatrical release, breaking from their trend. And then, kind of late in the process, they decided to make it a very limited 2 week run and mostly just put it on their streamer, ticking off Ryan Johnson and Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Craig, understandably so. And so that might be that might be part of the answer of whether these keep getting made or not, because Ryan
Yeah,
Johnson might say, "I'm not going to make another one of these for you, Netflix, because you went back on your word." And then
yeah.
there's I don't know. I don't know if it's available to see like what the rights are with this franchise.
I don't
If
know either.
he has to make it with Netflix or if he can go to somebody else. Like it'd be very interesting to see what comes of this. But yeah, I'm bummed out by Netflix. It seemed like they were gonna to do a thing with this and kind of break from their trend, and they just need to. It's just
Yeah.
time.
It's so disappointing because I loved this movie and I would have been thrilled to sit in the theater and watch this movie.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Um, this movie had I saw a couple different numbers, but it seemed like about a $210 million budget,
Did
which
you I
is
didn't I That's one thing I didn't do this time is look at the budget.
is which is wild because the first one had like a $40 million budget, and there's nothing really about this one that seems like a five times the budget of the original.
No.
And so I wonder, it's like it just made me think like, are things just that much more expensive than they were just 6 years ago?
I
I don't
don't know.
know,
That seems awful high to me.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
I
know.
don't know.
And
And I think part of my problem is because it was straight to Netflix, I was like, what's it matter? Why do I even need to look up the budget? Who cares?
no, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
this movie does look great. Like at one point there's a shot of like I don't remember if it's probably Blanc and Josh O'Connor's character driving through the woods, and it's like an aerial shot of the the road winding through the forest, kind of, and it's really cool and it's a good looking movie.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so the last thing I want to talk about, we've already referenced it a little bit, like that we would like to see the Academy give this some recognition.
Hmm.
What do you think are the odds that anything from this does get a nomination?
Maybe I'm just being naive, but I would like to think there's a decent chance. As well received as these are, um, I could see it getting screenplay. Um, I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but I'm 100% behind Josh O'Connor getting the nomination, and I do think it should be for actor, not supporting actor. I just thought he was amazing. Did the first one get some nominations? I feel like.
I just pulled it up and it got a nomination for best original screenplay for Ryan Johnson, but
Okay,
I think that's
that's
all it
it.
got.
Hmm. See, I would
Which
have no problem with
seemed
him getting the director nomination. None of really nothing. Look. I don't think there's much of a chance this is going to win a whole lot of stuff, but I would love
yeah,
to see it get some recognition. So I'm all for it. Give it a best picture nomination. If you get you've expanded it to 10. Let something like this have its moment in the sun.
yeah. I have a feeling that like this this will land in my top 10.
Hmm.
I would like to see Ryan Johnson get nominations for writing for sure. I think it's really well directed.
I did too.
Um, so I would be okay with that. Again, I say these things, and then sometimes I'm like, there's been a lot of good movies that said these things about, and I need to go and make sure I'm not bumping somebody else off the list.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, Josh O'Connor for actor, like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
Brolin for supporting, Close for supporting. Like
Hmm. I can see
there's
all
a
these things happening.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, maybe the maybe I'm just missing this. I guess one thing that is a little surprising is that uh, I don't know if I could pinpoint any like musical score or theme from these movies, and it almost seems like Benoit Blanc's character should have like a
Like his
recognizable
own like
theme
theme.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
I know,
something
right?
iconic. Yeah, that's just
It
I hadn't really
it
thought of that.
no, that's a great point. He does seem like he should have his own theme. It's Ryan Johnson's brother is who scores these movies. Did you know that?
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I just learned that this morning.
I would say, and I have a feeling it's one of those things where, like, if I watched it again and I really listened for the score, I'd be like, "Oh, this is, exactly what it should be and perfectly done."
It could
Uh,
be, but I agree with you completely. Benoit Blanc feels like he should have his own kind of theme. I mean,
yeah,
Dewey from Scream has his own theme. Surely we can get Benoit Blanc his own theme.
he does. To be fair, though, Dewey's theme was also
The
just
Broken
borrowed from
Arrow
the movie
theme.
Broken Arrow, but
Yeah, and it is an awesome theme, I will say.
it's an awesome theme, and it fits. Like
It
when I
does.
first
It
saw
really
it and they
does.
played it for Dewey, I was like, "That's Broken Arrow. I have
And
that
it's
soundtrack,
perfect.
and I love it." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how
I
much of
think
the
we should.
audience do you think we just lost with the Broken Arrow theme for
Prob
Dewey reference?
Right. Who would have thought we'd go down that road? One thing I thought a lot about watching this movie, and I've seen about Ryan Johnson. It's so weird that he directed that second Star Wars movie in that new trilogy.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's weird. I mean, we don't have to dive into all that. That would be like its own podcast. What all went wrong with that trilogy? But that's just strange. It feels strange.
Yeah, and another thing that I was thinking about that again we don't need to dive into now because it would take a lot of time, but it's a strange career for Daniel Craig.
Mhm. Mhm.
For one, he got started kind of later with being a like star.
Yeah.
It really wasn't till Bond. He had been in other things. I think the first thing I saw him in was Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
Uh,
That
but
sounds about right.
I mean, I was talking about with friends the other day, like the movie. Oh gosh, don't blank on it now. But the movie that he did with Soderbergh and Channing Tatum, and it was like the redneck Ocean's 11. Logan Lucky.
Yes. Yep.
Uh, he's so funny in that movie,
Yeah.
so good, and so good in these movies. Um, I'm not a Bond fan, so like it
Same.
doesn't. I don't go like, well, he's so good in Bond. I'm sure he's good in Bond. I'm just not a fan of the franchise, and
Same.
maybe that's where I'm just missing something. Where I'm like, he should have more great movies. Maybe
Mhm.
Bond people are like he does. It's all these Bond movies, but
It could be because I do think those are held in pretty high regard. But I'm like you. I just have no connection to Bond whatsoever. I'm much happier. This is my Daniel Craig that I want is just this role.
right. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm just surprised. Like a guy as good as him, I'm surprised there aren't 10 movies I'd list off and be like, I love Craig and this and this and this and this, and it's
I know,
just
right?
not quite there. I don't think.
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe the big disconnect is that we're not Bond guys.
Yeah.
Could be, but he's awesome in this, and it's so cool when you see an actor that's like just found like his thing.
Yeah. So this is very telling. I click on his IMDb profile and I just curious. I scroll to the credits and it always gives four most known for ones,
Yeah.
and all four are James Bond movies.
Oh
So
wow. I
it's
couldn't
like
even have
yeah,
told you how many he did.
I couldn't either. So
Yeah.
uh,
I
it's
mean, the people that love those movies love them, so good for them.
that's true. He was in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I should mention that. I
Oh, that's
really liked him
right.
in that movie.
I did too. That's a
Um,
wild movie.
yeah. A movie called Defiance, which was a World War II movie in which he plays one of three brothers, and they're Jewish brothers, and they're like kind of fighting Nazi Germans by hiding a bunch of people in the woods. That's a movie that was like it was an okay movie, but I really wanted to be like a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so just I don't know. Yeah, Andy, any final thoughts on Wake Up Dead Man?
No, just what a treat. I love this movie, and same old thing. Like, I'm really mad I didn't get a chance to see this in the theater. I hate this limited release crap. I don't like it one bit. If you don't live in LA or New York, you're screwed on these limited releases, and I live far away from both of those places. So really mad, but man, what a treat. This is the kind of movie like the old cliche where it's like, man, I just watched this movie with a smile on my face the whole time. I just loved every second of this movie. So
Yeah, I agree. And if there's a silver lining to it being just on Netflix, it's that I do want to watch this movie again, and it
Yeah,
is at my, at my disposal whenever I'm ready to watch it again, and it will probably be soon.
you are right because I have gone back and watched just little pieces of it several times since watching it all the way through.
Yeah. So, in case it hasn't been abundantly clear, people, this gets our recommendation. If you
Yeah,
haven't
watch this
watched this
movie,
movie, watch it.
and even if it gets spoiled for you, still watch it because it's really just the whole journey of this movie is fun. It's a ton of fun.
Absolutely. And the
Yeah,
wonderful thing again about this franchise is you can have not seen the first two, and it does not matter one
doesn't
bit.
matter one bit. Nope, you can just dive right in to any of these.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, if you watch it, let us know what you think.
Hmm.
And next week, Andy, our big release is one we're a franchise we're a little skeptical on. That we talk badly about, even though we tend to enjoy the theatrical experience.
It's weird. I really can't wait to talk through this with you because
We're
it's weird.
yeah, we'll be seeing Avatar Fire. What's it called? Fire and
Fire and
Ash.
Ash.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if it manages for a third time to actually keep me entertained in the theater, even though I walk out going, I'll never watch
I'll
that again.
No, I was thinking the other day if you had a gun to my head and told me that I had to tell you five things that happened in the last Avatar movie, just shoot me. I remember seeing it and I remember,
Yeah.
saying like we always talk about, looked cool. Don't remember hardly anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't if you asked me to name characters from it, not a chance.
Nope, same
Yeah.
here. So we'll see.
So yeah, we will see. I mean, it's Cameron. Cameron, we as much as we get mad at him for making just Avatar movies for the end of his career, he's still James Cameron, and he still does cool stuff in every movie he makes. So
He really does. Terminator 1 and 2 are on Netflix right now, and I'm on vacation, and I've just kind of been watching those in just a nonstop cycle. I was like, man, Cameron's just awesome. Like, he's awesome.
he really is.
But then that kind of just fuels my anger of him just camping out in this Avatar universe for the last, what feels like 50 years.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so we can dissect all this next week.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us,
Yep.
and we will see you next week.
See you next week.